This is the all-new BMW X1. It's the smallest and cheapest SUV BMW makes, but it's also one of the most important. Why? Because you'll be able to get it as a fully electric iX1 for the first time ever. And in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it, because I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow. Buy, sell,
CarWow.
BMW has gone properly wild with some of its recent designs. Just check out the new 7 Series and X7. It looks like the X1's designers though have taken some sanity pills before they started drawing their new SUV. You probably clocked the kidney grills first, right? They're almost perfect squares instead of flattened rectangles like the old X1. Almost like BMW cropped them so they'll fit in an Instagram feed post. The headlights are thinner than ever and come with full LED tech as standard. You can get different front bumpers depending on which model you pick. There's silver trim on the standard car, black trim on sportier versions, and bright blue accents on the electric iX1. I'll tell you more about this car in a bit. It's trickier to spot changes down the side though, but the new X1 has a couple of flat creases through the doors instead of curved lines like on the old car. The side windows look different too. Instead, they look just like the windows you get on the bigger X3. Also like on that car, you can get huge 20-inch alloy wheels on the X1 for the first time. The biggest wheels you could get on the old model were just 19 inches. There are plenty of changes at the back too, including some brake lights with a much more angular design than before. They're definitely more aggressive than the old car's rounded lights, but the cutout around the boot lid makes it look like bits of the lenses have fallen off. But what do you think of the new X1? Do you like it, or do you think BMW should have been a bit braver with the design? I'm going to put a pinned comment below where you can vote to let me know. The new BMW X1's cabin is totally different than the old cars. For starters, BMW got rid of almost all the buttons inside. In fact, the centre console has almost completely disappeared. There's just a big air vent in the middle instead and a huge curved infotainment screen. The only physical controls are on the steering wheel and on the floating armrest between the front seats. There's a rocker switch for controlling the automatic gearbox and a volume knob for the stereo. But that's it. The seats are pretty conventional though. They come with fabric and leather trim options, and you can pay extra to get some more supportive sport seats instead, although these will actually come as standard in the UK. What isn't standard is the interior mood lighting, the panoramic glass roof and the upgraded Harman Kardon stereo. You'll have to pay extra for those. You can get the new X1 with a choice of petrol and diesel power. The entry-level X118i has a 1.5 litre turbo petrol with 136 horsepower. The X120i uses a 1.5 litre mild hybrid with the small electric motor for a combined 170 horsepower. Both of these are front-wheel drive. The X123i petrol has a 2 litre 4-cylinder mild hybrid engine with 4-wheel drive. Then there's the X118D and the X123D, which both use a 2 litre diesel engine. The former has 150 horsepower, but the latter is a mild hybrid with 211 horsepower and all-wheel drive. The new X1 and iX1 come with BMW's latest iDrive 8 infotainment system as standard. There's a 10-inch central touchscreen and an 11-inch digital driver's display that fit together to form a huge curved display, just like you get in the BMW i4 and iX SUV. Remember how I said BMW got rid of almost every physical button in the X1? That's because you're supposed to use the "Hey BMW" personal assistant to control everything instead. Now I've tried this system in a few cars and it's better than the voice commands in most Mercedes, Audis and Volkswagens, but it isn't perfect and it's not quite as good as the system you get with a Tesla. You'll still be able to connect your phone using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto though, so you can use Siri or Google's voice commands to make calls and control what's playing on the car's stereo. There's also a wireless charging pad to keep your phone juiced up as well. BMW has developed 2 new plug-in hybrid engines for the new X1. They use a 1.5 litre petrol engine with 3 cylinders to drive the front wheels and an electric motor at the back to drive the rear wheels. The entry-level plug-in hybrid is called the X125e. This has a 136 horsepower petrol engine and a 109 horsepower electric motor that produce a combined 245 horsepower. This car will do 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. There's also a quicker X130e version. This has a more powerful 150 horsepower from its 1.5 litre engine and a 177 horsepower electric motor. Combined, you get 326 horsepower and 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. Now BMW claims both these plug-in hybrids will return up to 353 miles per gallon. You should take this figure with a pinch of salt though. Almost all plug-in hybrids struggle to match their claimed economy range in normal driving conditions, especially on longer journeys. However, if you charge them regularly and do short distances, you might be able to achieve this. The new BMW X1 should be more practical than ever. That's because the distance between the front and rear wheels is 22mm longer than in the old model, and the new car is up to 24mm wider than before. The roof is also 44mm higher than before, and the seats are raised above the floor to make it more comfortable to sit in for longer journeys. The new X1 should be pretty good at carrying luggage as well. You get 540 litres of boot space if you go for the petrol diesel model, and that's 45 litres more than you got in the previous generation model. Plug-in hybrid cars and the new iX1 electric have a bit less space on offer. but their 490 litre boot are still about 40 litres more than the boot in the Volvo XC40. You also get a special underfloor storage slot to keep all your charging cables neat and tidy. Speaking of charging, you'll be able to get the new X1 as a fully electric car for the first time. This new model is called the iX1, as I've already mentioned, and it uses the same basic underpinnings as the regular petrol and diesel power models. That's just like what BMW did with the larger X3 and iX3. And like that car, which has a single motor, the iX1 has dual motors. There's one on each axle, giving it four-wheel drive. They produce 313 horsepower in total and can accelerate the car from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5.7 seconds. The battery has about 76 kilowatt hours of usable capacity, which gives you a claimed range of 272 miles. That's a smidge more than the 263 miles Mercedes claims for its EQA. Now, you'll be able to recharge the BMW more quickly than that Mercedes because it's compatible with 130 kilowatt DC chargers. The Mercedes can only charge it up to 100 kilowatts. You can't get the new X1 with the manual version anymore. Any version with an internal combustion engine gets a 7-speed dual clutch automatic as standard, and the electric iX1 doesn't have any gears. That's not the only thing that should make the new car more relaxing to drive though. Its body produces less drag than the old car, so it should be slightly quieter at motorway speeds. You also get plenty of extra kit to make long drives a little less tiring. Cruise control comes as standard, along with BMW's parking assistant that can automatically reverse into parallel and bay parking spaces for you. You can also get the new X1 with upgraded sport suspension if you want. This lowers the car by 15mm and comes with stiffer shock absorbers. BMW hasn't just changed the X1's design and given it new engines, it's also upgraded the car's safety technology. You get automatic emergency braking as standard that can also warn if it thinks a car, cyclist or pedestrian is about to cross the road in front of you. You can also pay extra to get adaptive cruise control that'll steer to keep you in lane and control the brakes and accelerator for you in heavy traffic, a system that is standard on a Toyota Yaris, FYI. There's also an optional built-in dash cam and a system that will record the car's movements if it thinks it's being stolen. Finally then we come to the prices. New petrol and diesel versions of the X1 go on sale later in 2022. Entry-level versions in Sport Premier trim cost just over £35,000. If you fancy top specification X1 23D M Sport Premier Pro with four-wheel drive, that'll set you back almost £47,000. Plug-in hybrids and the new electric iX1 will go on sale soon after these models. BMW hasn't said how much these will cost, but it's likely the new electric model will set you back more than £50,000. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, let me know some other videos you'd like to see, and click on those windows there to watch some more videos. And if you click on that box there, you can get a carwow and we will help you sell your car. Just upload some photos, give a brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car to make sure you get a great price for it. Thanks for watching.